Hi, it's Erica with Presence in Parenting. I'm answering your questions. This question was about how to teach children about personal space and touching. So this isn't like a good touch, bad touch video. That's something else. This is more about personal space and physical boundaries. A lot of us have a different sphere of comfortability. I don't know if I got that from somebody else or if that just popped into my mind. But what I am thinking about is an exercise that I saw Bonnie Goldstein do with a group of children where she had them actually play with this idea of personal space and what feels good to you. So they took like a jump rope or some kind of, uh, long rope kind of thing that can be manipulated into making a circle around them of what feels comfortable to use. And then they could see with the rest of their friends whose circle was smaller and whose circle was bigger. So basically, how much space do you need? So the idea that was being communicated here was one, we all have different kind of needs of personal space. This actually goes into the proprioceptive sensory system in our brains of how much space feels good to us. This happens with babies, this happens with toddlers, this happens with kids, this happens with adults. Have you ever been talking to an adult and realized, wow, they are way too close for my comfort? But obviously for them, it felt very comfortable. This can be different in different cultures. This can be different in different families. But there are also broad, big individual differences because we all have unique brains, okay? So when we're thinking about personal space, we want to acknowledge and appreciate that there is a wide variety of difference with what might feel good to me and what might feel good to you. Now, this can play into the parent-child relationship, and I really want to stress this. I think the question was being asked about a child interacting with other children, but I really want to stress the importance of how this can play out in a parent-child relationship. Because if you like being very close and cuddly, but that does not feel good to your child, they're going to do a lot more of, right? And that's going to feel like rejection. But actually, it doesn't physically feel good to be all cuddly with them. So with friends and other friends or in the parent-child relationship, how do we work with this? How do we figure out how much personal space is, something that feels good to each person in this relationship or in the group? Bonnie Goldstein had this great idea about literally drawing the circle around the body. I think that that's fantastic. There are also games that you can play about moving closer and going farther away. There are ways where we can use hula hoops or use other circles, to kind of demonstrate, do I need to be in the middle of the circle? Can I be to the edge and you're at the edge? If we have two hula hoops and you're standing in one and I'm standing in another, where do we go in each circle so that each of us feels close? Am I going all the way to the top of my circle because I want to be closer to you? And are you all the way at the back? Which way feels good to us? So think about some fun and creative games that you can play with your child, that you can play with your partner on physical space and what feels good to you. So sometimes we can talk about it and use our words, and other times we don't have words to describe the physical sensations that happen in our body. So we can play these kinds of games and use these kinds of visual ideas of what feels good and what doesn't feel so good when it comes to personal space. All right, I hope that this helped shed some light on the topic. Send me an email, write a comment below, subscribe to the YouTube channel, find me on Facebook, and we will keep all of these conversations going and help you and your family. All right, take care.